I want you to picture something. A mother is sitting in a police station. It's almost midnight. Her hands won't stop shaking. A detective slides his chair closer and says, very quietly, "Do you know the Stevens family?" She says no. She has absolutely no idea. No idea that just half a mile away, her son has already killed them. This is the story of Austin Harrouff. And I need you to stay with me till the end, because the real horror isn't what you think it is. Austin Harrouff was, by every surface measure, a kid living a good life. 19 years old. Florida State University. Exercise science major. Football player. Serious weightlifter. His dad said he was the strongest guy in his weight room. He was funny. He did impressions. He made his friends laugh. Honestly, if you showed me his Instagram in 2015, I think, that's a normal college kid. But somewhere around early 2016, something started to come loose. And here's the part that gets me every time. It didn't happen overnight. It was slow, like a rope fraying one thread at a time. And everyone around him could see it happening. But nobody picked up the scissors. He started obsessing over self-help books, then motivational videos, then religion. He'd come home from a 12-hour workday, refuse to eat, and tell his mother, "God spoke to me tonight." His mom looked him in the eyes and said, "Austin, God didn't talk to you." I think about that moment a lot. She wasn't dismissing him. She was scared. And she didn't have the words for what she was seeing. None of them did. His best friend Alex came forward later and said Austin had told him, 6 months before the attack, that the devil spoke to him. 6 months. And they just moved on. Because what else do you do when your friend says something like that? You don't want to make it weird. You don't want to embarrass him. I get it. I genuinely do. But that silence had a cost. By August 2016, Austin had come back home to Martin County, Florida, and things were getting worse fast. He wasn't sleeping. He was pacing. He tried to drink vegetable oil straight from the jar. His mother stopped him mid-pour. He told her he felt immortal, that he was like a superhero. That same day, the family tried to do something normal. Dinner at Duffy's Sports Grill. Just a family meal. Austin got up and walked out without a word. He ended up back at his mother's house, where she caught him staring at a bottle of Listerine, like it was a glass of water. She drove him back to the restaurant. He sat down. His father grabbed him by the collar, frustrated, scared, out of options, and said, "What the hell are you doing?" Austin hit him. First time in his life he had ever raised his hand to his father. Then he stood up. Walked out the door, into the night. No phone, no wallet, no shoes, just a folding knife in his pocket. And that was the last normal moment of this story. Southeast Kokomo Lane. A quiet residential street. John Stevens and his wife Michelle were home that evening. Just a regular Monday night. Austin showed up at their garage. There was no connection, no argument, no history. He had never met them. He just arrived.
Their neighbor Jeff Fisher heard screaming. He ran out to help.
Austin turned to look at him, calm, almost bored, and said, "You want no part of this." Jeff Fisher has the scars to prove he didn't listen. When police got there, Austin was still at the scene. Not running, not hiding, completely unreachable. Pepper spray, nothing. Taser barely slowed him down. It took multiple officers and AK-9 unit just to pull him away. And as they dragged him off, he said something to the sergeant that I genuinely cannot get out of my head. "Help me. I ate something bad." The sergeant asked, "What?" He said, "Humans." John Stevens died at the scene. Michelle passed away at the hospital shortly after. Jeff Fisher survived barely, miraculously. The first thing everyone assumed? Drugs. Florida 2016. Synthetic drugs were everywhere. Flakka, bath salts. Toxicology came back completely clean. No alcohol. No drugs. Nothing. And that's the moment this case stopped being a drug story. and became something much harder to explain. Both sides hired forensic psychologists, the prosecution's expert and the defense's expert, and after months of evaluation, they reached the exact same conclusion. Austin was in the middle of an acute psychotic episode. He did not know what he was doing. He could not tell right from wrong. One report was 38 pages long and described severe mental disease. The case dragged through COVID delays, psychiatric evaluations, years of waiting. Finally, in 2022, 6 years later, a Florida judge ruled not guilty by reason of insanity. Austin was sent to a secure psychiatric facility, not prison. Here's the thing I can't shake. Austin Harrouff is not a movie villain. He didn't plan this. He didn't target them. He was a 19-year-old kid, coming apart at the seams, in full view of everyone who loved him, and not a single person had the tools to catch him. His dad tried to joke him out of it. His mom told him to stop reading so many books. His friends heard him say the devil spoke to him, and they let it go. I have a younger brother, and when I read about Austin's dad, this man watching his son spiral, and trying to laugh it away, I understood that instinct completely. Sometimes you just don't want it to be real. But here's what I keep coming back to. There was a 6-month window. 6 months where something could have changed. A doctor, a conversation, a hospital visit, something. And in those 6 months, 2 people who had nothing to do with any of it, John Stevens and Michelle Mishkin, were just living their lives, sitting at home on a Monday evening. They didn't get a warning. They didn't get a chance. The real horror of this case isn't one night in August. It's everything that came before it. The slow unraveling that everyone saw, and nobody stopped. And that gap between someone clearly falling apart and the moment someone actually does something, that gap still exists today, in someone's family, right now. This case doesn't wrap up neatly. There's no satisfying ending here. Just loss and questions and 2 families. That will never be the same. I want to know what you think. Was the insanity verdict right? Or did justice fail John and Michelle? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to hear where you land on this. If this kind of storytelling means something to you, subscribe. It's free, and it keeps this channel alive. I'll see you in the next one.